On to next parish, Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Melrose Park, which has a distinctive tradition to it. And our presenter is Joe Rosa.
Good morning, good afternoon. The history of the feast, the history of the parish of Our Lady of Mount Carmel is a history of miracles. It's a history of the Blessed Virgin taking care of her people. You have to know what Melrose Park was like in the 1890s. It was a farm community, and it was settled by mostly Sicilians, Neapolitans, Marchigiani, who came from Wisconsin, who came from Kenosha, and people from Lucania, province of Potenza. In fact, Father Lapata is a descendant of the Trivignese who came to Melrose Park. With them, they brought a pepper, which is the Melrose Park pepper. And for many years, the Blessed Mother was known as a Madonna del Pepperoni. There was a woman by the name of Manuela Di Stefano. She was a very smart businesswoman, very successful woman. She had a great deal of property in Melrose Park. She helped found Sacred Heart Church, which is the diocesan church in Melrose Park. Mostly Germans. And the pastor there was not thrilled with having the Italians come to his parish. Mrs. Di Stefano's husband was very sick. She came from a town called La Lorenzana, Provincia Potenza. In that town, they had a very famous statue of Our Lady of Mount Carmel with a festival in her honor. Mrs. Di Stefano promised the Blessed Mother that if her husband was healed, she would start a festival for the Blessed Mother here in America. Her husband was healed, and good to her promise, she begged funds from her neighbors, and she put in money herself and had a statue made that was a replica of the statue in La Lorenzana and brought to this country. The first Festa della Madonna was held in 1894 on the Di Stefano farm at 25th and North Avenue in Melrose Park. The following year, she bought two pieces of property on 24th, the 800 block of 24th, and built a wooden chapel, which was known as the Italian Chapel. Every Sunday, a priest, Father Thomas Moraschini, a Servite, would come from Assumption to celebrate Mass and to baptize and to do whatever needed to be done for the Italians in this group. He was not welcomed very much. The people that came to Melrose Park were peasants, they were farmers, and they brought with them their distrust of priests in general, but especially northern priests and northerners in general. There were no northerners in Melrose Park. He just couldn't make a go of it, and he left in 1905. In 1905, it was declared, well, 1903 it was declared a parish by Quigley. Then in 1905, the Scalabrinis were asked to send someone out, and a little priest by the name of Father Benjamin Frank, who came from Klotz. He was Austrian to begin with, and then he became Italian after the war, the First World War. He came out, and the first Sunday Mass, there were 12 people in church, and he collected 75 cents. They didn't trust him either. The Italians were very, very closed. They had their own little community, and they didn't like people from the outside, and still don't to this day. Melrose Park is kind of a funny town. Father Frank pursued, and he just kept going on and worked hard and worked hard, and then something happened. He fought with Mrs. Di Stefano over ownership of the statue. She was just giving a small stipend to Father Frank to support the parish, but all the money from the feast, which was becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. We have articles from the 1903, 1896, 1897, where 25,000 people were coming out to celebrate the feast. So the feast was quite a moneymaker. Father Frank needed that money to build the parish. The statue was in contention. Mrs. Di Stefano came from Chicago to take the statue. The people in the neighborhood met her at the chapel door with guns and rakes and pitchforks, and they weren't letting her take the Blessed Mother from them. She saw that a rainstorm broke out and dispersed the crowd. She saw that as a sign from God. She turned the statue over to the Archdiocese. So to this day, the Cardinal Archbishop of Chicago owns the statue. The feast continued and continued, and the parish started to grow, but there still weren't any parish organizations, and he wasn't getting a lot of cooperation. Then, on Palm Sunday, in 1920, there was a tornado that came from Elmhurst, and it came up Lake Street, and it got to 25th, which is the end of the Italian community in Melrose Park, and it went up in the air, and it came down on 19th, which is the end of the Italian community. Went into Chicago and Evanston, destroyed Sacred Heart Parish, killed 9 people in Melrose Park, and damaged 100 homes. The only area that was not touched was the Italian section of town, or what the Italians call La Cortile della Madonna, where the procession walked. The immigrants took this as a sign of the Blessed Mother that she loved them, that she was taking care of them, and they started to respond. The following year, organizations were put together. There was the Conferencethe Parrocchiale Maria Santissima del Monte Carmelo was organized to raise money. The Christian Mothers was organized. The school was opened in 1913. Sisters of St. Joseph, who did a great deal for the Italian community, evidently, in this archdiocese, because they taught us all. And there was a couple of people here that went to school with those nuns, and they were terrific. They were very good teachers. So we owe them a debt of gratitude. It became bigger and bigger and bigger. The school was opened in 1913. Convent was built. School was built. Father Lopato went to school there. In 1941, in July, when the statue was taken out of church for the procession, it's hard to talk about the history of Mount Carmel Parish without intertwining it with the feast. We are so involved with this. It's something that's totally preoccupied by the Italian community in Melrose Park. In fact, it's one of the things that has saved the village from becoming completely Hispanic. People don't want to leave because of the feast, because of their devotion to the Blessed Mother. We have a novena in July before the feast day. 900 people come to it on the last few nights. We also have a rose presentation where 10,000 roses are presented to the Madonna. So there's still a great deal of support for this festival, for this Italian element in our life. The parish is no longer what it was. Melrose Park is now 60% Hispanic. The Scalabrinis have changed their mission. They are no longer taking care of the Italian community. They're doing it very, very lightly through Casa Italia, but their whole thrust of their ministry is now to the Hispanic community. Their priests are coming from Mexico. It's so difficult for two cultures to live under one roof because you just run into each other constantly. We still have people that come back to the parish every year in July from all over the country. It's been designated a shrine, and we have the only papally incarnated statue in the city of Chicago. There's only 5 in the Western hemispheres, including South America. Christine has given me the cut because this is all her information for the feast.
The gold
But, well, she'll tell you about the goal for the crowds.
Oh, okay, okay.
So now in 1941, before the war started, the statue came out of church, and there were people in front of the church who swear, they did affidavits, that tears came from the Blessed Mother's eyes. And these tears fell on the cement, and people bent and kissed the cement, and the following year, the following December, Pearl Harbor was bombed. All throughout our history as a parish, we have been devoted to the Blessed Mother under her title of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. We're fighting for our life right now, and any support that anyone would like to give us, we would certainly be happy to take.
Thank you very much, Rob. we'll have more in the next session. We'll focus on the feast.